Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at FlexiPRINT zoom tools. But before that, let's have a quick intro first. So today's video can be found on softwaretraining.co.za. We make short and easy to watch problem solving videos, and we also have daily updates. Otherwise, we head back into the program here. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to be looking at the zoom tools for FlexiPRINT, but keeping in mind we have quite a list of them. Most programs only have like one or two. It's a list of them, but that being said, most of them is very handy. So yeah, so bear with us here. Now the first one is probably your most important. That is just your classic zoom. It has a few different options. So under the color picker, which we just covered in the previous video, you can see we've got this little zoom icon. Now if I hover on that, you can see the shortcut for that is Z. If I simply press Z, it should take us to our zoom tool. Now with the zoom tool, this default one, there's a few different things we can look at. So you can see by default we've got a little plus. So if I had to click, it will zoom in for us. But you will also notice it switched it off, so it's no longer active. So to activate it, we can press Z again, and then we can zoom in, and then it will deactivate it again. So if I want to zoom out though, I press Z. Then now if I keep controlling, you'll see it takes our icon and turns it from a plus to a minus. Now I can simply zoom out like so. Now this tool also has another great option. So let's say I want to zoom a specific area, then I can simply left click, hold in and drag, and you'll see it makes a selection box. So if I select over these two and I let go of the left click, it will zoom our view. Keeping in mind these panels are actually in the view, but it will zoom our view around that actual design. Now if you want to fix the idea of not having to re-click or use your shortcut key for zooming every time, we can easily do that. I normally do it because I prefer it that way. So what we can do is if I go to the same icon we used for zooming and I double click it, then it opens up this preferences for the actual zoom tool, and you can see here it says resume previous tool after zooming once. So that is currently checked, so I'll uncheck that and then say OK. Now if I'm on my zoom tool, I can zoom in as I wish, control to zoom out, drag and select to zoom, and it will stay within that. So now, however, if I want to switch to another tool, I have to actually click on it. But that's the way I like to set up my zoom tool. It's very handy, and it's quite intuitive for me to use it like that. Now next up on our list here, we've got our normal plus zoom and minus zoom. Now if I hover on that, you can see the shortcut. It says control plus numpad plus, which is the plus on your numpad, but I found it works for me, at least on Windows, just on the control plus normal plus next to backspace. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but yeah, that plus sign on your keyboard or the minus sign. So if I go control plus, it will zoom in, control and minus. If I do it on my numpad, you'll see I get the same result. Now something to keep in mind with these ones is it will zoom depending on where your mouse is. If I want to zoom to that corner, I have to keep my mouse there, and likewise to that circle. So this one's definitely very handy if you're used to using shortcut keys a lot in your design process. Then I would recommend getting comfortable with these. And next up here, we've got the zoom page. So that's between those two icons we just looked at. And what this one will do is it will center it to our page, or zoom it to our page of the actual design. So if you've been working really close and you're a bit overwhelmed, you can just click that one. It will zoom it back to the default page size. Then under that, we have a nice one called zoom to previous. Now what this will do is, let's say I'm going to quickly zoom in to this eye. Let's say I've been working on the design, and sometimes when you're really close it gets confusing, so you want to just see the overall design. So instead of going zooming to page, or rather I will first do that, I'll zoom to page, and then what I can do is just use this little icon with the two little magnifying glasses, the zoom to previous, and then I can click that and jump between the two. So I can jump here, work, jump back to the other one, jump there. It's quite handy. Then we've got another one here that is currently grayed out, which is zoom to selected. Now, a lot of times if I'm working, let's say I wanted to make changes to the design, I might actually grab this thing, make a duplicate of it and put it on the side as a backup. So if I make any any changes, I can always quickly revert without having to use undo or so forth. It's quite a safe way of working. So now what I can do is I can use the one where I can actually go zoom to select it. So if I have something selected here, I can zoom to that, which is handy, but that one will be more handy for the next feature, which I'll be showing now. The zoom to select can also be handy if you want to just zoom to a certain element on your design. You can click that and then it will only highlight these. Same way you can do it with this. Let's say you're far zoomed out, you select a shape and you click zoom to select it, it will highlight that. Very handy. But yeah, so now on to the next one, which is the zoom to all objects. And this one is very handy if you have made a backup or you've got designs off your design. You can simply click that and it will zoom to the entire design. So let's say you've created a logo, then you can very easily just do that and compare the two designs to see which one you prefer and go forth with that. And then the last one we have here is the actual size, or zoom actual size, the 1:1. So if I click this, it will zoom into the actual size the design is. So this can also be handy to get a kind of preview of the size of it. Now, like I mentioned, there's a number of zooming tools. Definitely get competent with the ones you like using and need to use often. But most of these I always find very handy. So if you're not sure what the shortcuts is, you can hover over them or just use them on this toolbar. It's also 100%. But yeah, otherwise in the meanwhile, if we head here to softwaretraining.co.za, you guys will notice we've got a variety of different softwares we do cover, and you can also isolate your search here on the top right. If you do not, however, find the training videos you're looking for, just simply go here, request the training video, fill in the mini form, and then we'll do our best to try and make that for you. But otherwise, thanks guys for watching, and cheers.